It's my home sweet home for the night. I forgot to record my tent before I put it all away. All packed up, ready to go. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm gonna start that 10-mile hike over to Vasquez Rocks and over into Agua Dulce. And then from there, I'm gonna go to Serenity Oasis. Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to finally give you an update as to why I got off the PCT, Pacific Crest Trail, at the end of May, what's been going on, and what my plans are going forward with my channel and content. And I didn't want this to be a really long drawn out video because I could sit here and talk for days, but I really just, wanted to take this opportunity to just give you a quick summary of what's been going on. But I wanted to start off with a heartfelt that I'm sorry that I left you all hanging, and I'm really sorry to the people that have been supporting me and following me with my hike this year and then in previous years also, that I feel like I disappointed you all again, and that I didn't finish my through hike and I just sort of left you all hanging. But I did leave a description in my last video that I put out where I did my 24-mile day. I did put a description in that video, and then also left a message pinned at the top of that video comment section that explained what happened and why I got off the trail. So if people wanted to know, I did leave them some information there if they were willing to go back and look at that video for anything. But I know there's a lot of you that didn't notice that and still don't know what happened. But basically, I accepted a really good job offer, and that was the reason I left the trail. The reason I took the job, there's a little bit of explaining behind that and in my decision making for that. So I just wanted to jump into that really quickly. And a little backstory. I worked really hard in 2024 to save enough money for the PCT, but I ended up just getting just enough to what I thought would be enough to cover this entire trip and through hike. But I probably, in hindsight, should have saved a little bit more. But anyway, fast forward to I started the hike in April. And then at the end of April, my husband informs me that we had to change out our entire HVAC system in our house because it finally failed. And that really stunk because that was thousands and thousands of dollars. And one thing about us is we don't finance anything or barely anything. The only finance that we have right now is our mortgage payment. And that's very, very low, which is why we stay in this nice, modest little home, because we can shovel away a lot of savings and not have to worry about debt. And so we've worked really hard to get debt free, not have credit card debt and all of that. So whenever we have these big expenses come up, we pay out of pocket. And so we paid off the HVAC unit. And then my husband informs me that his car is acting up at the beginning of May, and that it's a really expensive repair that he's been having to put in more and more repairs on this car. You get to a point where you're just like, it's time to get a different vehicle. And that's what he wanted to do and decided to do. And so he bought a really nice used car that had low miles on it for a good price, but paid out of pocket. So our savings is just like getting shoveled into these really big expenses. And I'm just stressing like, oh crap, like that's a lot of money that we've just spent out of savings. And to add to all that, I'll be 55 this year. My husband is 8 years older than I am. So he's getting closer and closer to the retirement age. And, it's really important that we save as much as possible in these later years. And that's really hitting me hard now at this stage in our lives. And with all these big expenses coming up, of course, I've got that looming over my head. And I was already thinking like, man, what am I going to do? I got to get back and get working with real estate and all that. So while I'm hiking, I'm realizing that I need to make sure that I'm keeping up with my real estate license and those responsibilities, because I want to be able to get right back into work as soon as I get home from the trail. And so I knew I needed to take care of some continuing education credentials, and also I wouldn't be able to renew my license without that. And at that same time, we also had a snowstorm coming into Big Bear, and I thought this is great timing. These 4 days I can take off to get all my real estate stuff taken care of, which I did. And then during that time, I had a lady from back here in San Antonio that I worked with previously that was really interested in having me help her with a project on a really nice home that we would be working on staging and renovating together, and it would be only for about 3 weeks, and it would be a really good paycheck for me, and also great experience to add to my portfolio. So I was really excited about this job, and she had mentioned it before to me prior to the PCT, but we didn't think it was going to come up until the end of this year, possibly beginning of next year, 2026. But turns out the clients were interested in getting this going sooner. And so I spoke with her about this job opportunity here in San Antonio, and it was only gonna be 3 weeks. And I thought, well, I could probably still get back on the trail, no problem. Just go home, make some money, get this taken care of, and then get back out here on the trail. Didn't work out that way. I got home, I took on this project, I had a great time doing it, and I almost didn't even think about the trail. I was so busy every day, and I wasn't working on conditioning. I was just eating everything. We were going out on lots of lunch dates, during the project, and I was just eating anything and everything. I put on so much weight and just let myself get out of shape and out of condition. And I was like, wow, that came on really fast. So I felt so out of shape. And anyway, I decided the job ended up taking about 4.5 weeks, not 3 weeks, to finish it. and I was already making plans to reconnect with the PCT, and I was supposed to start at the Sierra or Walker Pass and, you know, walk up to Kennedy Meadows and start from there, and then I would just come back and clean up that other section that I missed because it's getting too hot in the season and the hikers are getting ahead of me. And I also just, anyway, I let myself go so much that I lost my confidence in whether I could start at the Sierra, and I felt like I don't have the conditioning to do this, and I was kind of worried and I think too much in my head about it. And so I made plans then to start in NorCal, and I had to wait longer because of the snow that was still there. And I still haven't said anything to you guys, haven't put out any update videos because I really didn't know what was going on, and I felt so out of sorts about the whole thing. Like, what am I doing? They're all gonna think I'm, moron for doing all this stuff. And I just had way too much noise in my head going on about the whole thing. And during this time, I'm continuing to work in real estate because I'm at home, and take on another client that I'm working with, and just not keeping up with conditioning. And I let myself kind of go, and I started to try to get serious about workouts, and I think I started doing too much too quickly and adding weight back to the backpack, and ended up hurting my foot. So it's like everything was just kind of going against me with getting back out on the trail, and I sort of lost my edge. I got to the point where I was working with the clients. I wanted to stay here and continue working on, trying to make money and help the family out, help our savings out. And then trying to get back out on the trail just seemed like, oh my gosh, I let myself go physically. I don't know if I'm in good enough shape. I hurt my foot. My foot ended up healing fine, fortunately, but the healing process took quite a while, and I just got out of condition even more. So that's really what happened. I sort of lost my edge there at the end, and I felt like, man, there's no way to salvage it at this point. I don't feel like going out and doing a section hike because I let myself go, and I'd rather stay here and work on, clients and working on making some more money for the family and just being responsible with this whole thing. My husband works so hard, and I always feel guilty when I go out and do these trips. Even if I save up for it myself, there's still this sense of guilt that he's here working his butt off, which he always does. It's his work ethic. But yeah, I don't know what else to say other than I'm sorry that I feel like such a letdown to you guys, but I kind of made the right decision for myself in the end, that I felt like I had to make a decision, and I just decided to pull it. And going forward, to be responsible with, making sure that I'm giving out accurate information about my intentions and all that. I'm going to not share videos until after I'm home. And I know I mentioned that back in 2023, but I really felt like I had this one in the bag this year. I guess I was feeling extra confident, and I was in really good shape going into it this year. And other than the money thing, I really felt like I could have done it. I'm just going to be really careful about putting quality content out for you guys after the fact, so that there are no more of these videos explaining, I might explain why I got off the trail, if I do another things, but there's going to be no more of these sorry, so much time has passed. But I want you all to know that from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate each and every one of you that follow my journeys. I have the intentions to do more through hikes, but they're going to be shorter ones, and plan on doing some section hikes, hopefully of the PCT, so that I can finish it one of these years. But again, I'm just not going to share things till after the fact, and that will avoid any of these uncomfortable situations again in the future. These long distance trails that almost seem impossible for me, that I have to keep coming back and saying I didn't finish it over and over again. Even though I have, maybe some issues with being able to stay on the long distance trails while I'm out there, I think I'm excellent at hiking, using my best judgment while I'm out there, making decisions. Planning is my really strong suit. Coming up with creative meal plans, how I use my gear, I have a lot of information that I can still share, you know, my experiences with you all, and I plan on doing more of that, and then also sharing whatever hikes I do in the future after the fact. And so you will be seeing everything after I've already finished the hike. And it doesn't mean I'm not going to share it if things don't go according to plan. It just means that I know I have the content, I know that it's done the way that I want it to be presented for you all, and that I'm happy to share it with you. But I'll always be authentic about how things are going on my hikes, and whether good or bad. I'm going to be working on renovating my SUV camper here. I love it the way it is, but it can definitely use a little bit of improvements here and there now that I've used it for several years. And so I'm excited to put those renovations in and show you my build from pretty much beginning to end, because I get to take it apart to do the renovations. And so I'm going to share a video on just my SUV build. And that's pretty much it. I don't want to talk your ear off, but if you guys have any questions for me, to leave them in the comments below. And if you enjoy watching my videos, let me know what you want to see more of, and I'll be happy to work on that. So you guys take care, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video fairly soon. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.